Pokémon plus a city plus darkness plus a villain plus a beast control. This is a world where cities and Pokémon blend together 1,000 years ago. Everything turned upside down, but the kind Pokémon world still cannot change the darkness of this world. Dust and smoke traveled from their original world to this dark world. Years later, the beggar who once competed for food in the trash can and meows finally stood at the peak of this world. Looking behind him, the majestic Bankiras and his elves, as well as countless like-minded companions around him. He is destined to turn this world upside down for him. Chapter 1. Unfortunate Opening. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Brain storage area. The southern edge of Tianshui City. Boys, catch the drug trafficking gang inside the abandoned building, don't let anyone run away. In the dim sky, white lightning flashed occasionally, illuminating an abandoned building in the forest. I saw dozens of security teams wearing blue uniforms holding black umbrellas. Holding a flashlight and following the standard large wolf dog of the security team. Holding a flashlight in his hand, he illuminated the 3-story abandoned building in front of them in the forest like daylight. More than 20 security officers entered the abandoned building and soon after. The abandoned building made a noisy noise, but after a moment, only the mournful sound of thunder and lightning remained. Dozens of security officers handcuffed over 20 ragged and bruised henchmen. At this moment, on a small hill several hundred meters away, there was a short and thin young man wearing a tattered black raincoat. Lying in the bushes half a person high, observing the abandoned building with a telescope. The young man's tattered raincoat was leaking and his body was already soaked through. But he still held a telescope and carefully observed the situation at the abandoned building. After seeing those thugs being pulled out with wounds all over their bodies, he took a deep breath and was grateful for his early escape. The young man named Chen Yan, who was secretly observing, had traveled to this urban world with Pokémon 10 years ago. He divorced at the age of 26 and just got married without any children. The other party actually took away his remaining 160,000 yuan before the divorce to buy a house for his former brother. In law. He was dissatisfied and sued the other party, but the court actually dismissed the dust and smoke on the grounds that the woman did not want a car and a house. From then on, Chen Yan did not reclaim his own savings. He did not retrieve half of the joint property that should belong to him from the woman. There is only one house left that has just paid the down payment of 100,000 yuan and the remaining 760,000 yuan for the mortgage and 100,000 yuan for the car loan, but the problem is that he also paid the down payment for the car and house. He works tirelessly from dawn to dusk in order to repay bank loans. The only thing that made him feel relaxed was playing Pokémon for a while. As a result, I spent 10 years just paying off my loan and was forced to work overtime one night. A heartache, a flower in front of me, and my life is in despair. When Chen Yan opened his eyes again, he found his body, which had previously been plagued by minor ailments, in his 30s. After crossing into this world, he actually changed back to his appearance when he was 6 years old. As an original traveler, Chen Yan does not have a household registration in this world. Therefore, he successfully became a black man in this world. He can only compete with wild Pokémon like meow in the dark corners of this city for leftover food in the trash can. But because the body is only the age of a 6-year-old child, Chen Yan can't even beat a weak meow. I can only eat stinky food that even cats cannot swallow. Once, Chen Yan wanted to sneak into the welfare institution, but the result was that he was almost sold by the people of the welfare institution. Watching the contemptuous and disgusted gaze of people on the street towards him, he knew that this world was completely different from the Pokémon world in his mind. This is a chaotic and dark world. He struggled in the dark corner for 10 years. He had seen civilians killed, and their incomplete bodies were thrown next to him sleeping in the trash can. The security team he had also seen, carrying large wolf dogs, charged high protection fees from street vendors. I have even seen the so-called police officers traveling, with numerous security teams riding motorcycles to protect them. There are also many bodyguards guarding the sedan in the center. And he could only watch everything happen in the dark corner filled with garbage. At the age of 16, Chen Yan joined a small gang in his city, Tianshui City. He heard that the leader of this gang is an elite-level trainer. Of course, but all of this has nothing to do with him. What he cares about is whether he can eat enough. In this way, Chen Yan became a subordinate of the Evil Dog Gang, responsible for maintaining order in the black market in the south of the city. Recently, he heard that the security team is conducting a crackdown on white powder. Coincidentally, these little thugs like Chen Yan became scapegoats because the gang wanted to please the security forces. At that time, Chen Yan was sleeping on a folding bed when he suddenly heard the roar of cars not far from the abandoned building. Realizing that the situation was not right, Chen Yan sneaked out of the abandoned building where the thugs lived. Otherwise, dust and smoke will now be the same fate as those thugs who are being stuffed with small powder by security personnel not far away. Chen Yan hid in the bushes and saw the gang leader he had seen before. He was bending over and lighting a thick cigar in his hand for a fat sheriff sitting on a rain-covered lounge chair. Dust and smoke groped away from the hillside, trying to escape into the forest. As a result, I saw a security guard dressed in black uniforms surrounding the forest. Seeing that the other party did not have a big wolf dog following Chen Yan, he immediately breathed a sigh of relief. It seems that the other party is a new security guard who can't even drink soup. Chen Yan took out the dagger in his hand and slowly approached him in the shadow of the trees. Damn it, just because I haven't received the big wolf dog yet, I didn't even give me a sip of soup. The security guard was vigorously kicking the grass, as if treating it as the fat security captain. Not even noticing the dust and smoke gradually approaching him in the shadow. I saw that the security personnel were cut throat by the dust and smoke that appeared from the shadows before they could react. The security guard tightly choked on their own throat, but could only make a sound. Under the cold gaze of dust and smoke, he fell onto the grass. Chen Yan felt uneasy and then made another incision in the other person's heart. The light rain in the sky gradually grew stronger, and thunder and lightning roared with deafening sounds. A figure wearing a tattered raincoat, walking on a dark path in the woods, was turned white by lightning. The heavy rain gradually subsided, but the sky remained gloomy, and dust and smoke walked the mountain road for a full 7 hours. Finally arrived in front of a thick concrete wall that reached a height of 10 meters. This is the defensive fortification built by Tianshui City on the edge of Tianshui City to resist the raging Pokemon. Dust and smoke have actually planned their escape route for a long time. There is an illegal refinery on the edge of Tianshui City, where they engage in illegal refining and processing. As for why they were not investigated, it can only be said that they gave too much. The way for dust and smoke to escape from Tianshui City is through their sewage pipes. In order to prevent the discharge of sewage from being discovered by people inside the city, the refinery built sewage outlets outside the city. As for why their pipes can pass through the protective wall, it's still the same sentence. They gave too much. And this sewage pipeline is the key to the escape of dust and smoke from Tianshui City. Dust and smoke hid in the forest, waiting for the searchlight on the city wall to sweep through every 15 minutes. Although the other party may only be formalistic, dust and smoke cannot gamble on that 1 in a million. As soon as the searchlight passed, the dust and smoke ran to a small slope and dug up a piece of gravel. Dust and smoke quickly dug up, and with a bang, a rock slab appeared beneath the gravel. A circular rock slab of about 80 centimeters was lifted by dust and smoke, revealing a circular soil hole. Dust and smoke entered the cave entrance, pulling the rock slab behind them so that they wouldn't be detected when the searchlight swept over. If it weren't for Chen Yan's slim figure, he wouldn't have been able to penetrate the hole dug out by the mole. This place was discovered by chance from an old beggar who was about to die before Chen Yan. And recently, according to the information of the old beggar, we found the mole hole that escaped from Tianshui City. You can drill into the sewage outlet of the refinery through this hole. By then, you can follow the huge sewage outlet to the outside of Tianshui City. Pop it up. Chen Yen stood up in the half-person polluted water and quickly pulled open his clothes on his chest. I saw only a ball of bread soaked in sewage left in the plastic bag. Chen Yen frowned and bit open a small hole in the bag. With both hands, he forcefully squeezed out the sewage inside. Then directly tear open the plastic bag and swallow the squeezed bread into your stomach. Dust and smoke swallowed the bread and continued to move towards the outlet of the sewage outlet. Finally, after walking for 2 kilometers, Chen Yen saw light coming out not far away. Chen Yen cautiously poked his head out and looked outside as the sky remained dim. The searchlight on the nearby city wall is blocked by tall trees near the sewage outlet. Dust and smoke relaxed their vigilance and quickly rushed out of the sewage outlet. Chen Yan's current goal is to travel through the wilderness where Pokemon lives and to another city. But unfortunately, 3 hours later. Shit, stop chasing me. I didn't steal your honey again. I saw Chen Yan running quickly in the forest, and behind him was a group of large hornets, each measuring 1 meter in size. Dust and smoke can only continuously run along an S-shaped path, using dense forest branches to block the flight of the giant hornet. Just as Chen Yan was about to hold on, he found a large hole over 10 meters wide in front of him. Dust and smoke looked around and found no other obstructions. He could only grit his teeth and go into that big hole, running to the side of it. Looking at the deep and boundless cave, Chen Yan gritted his teeth and crawled down along the edge of the cave. The rock walls of the large cave are very smooth, and dust and smoke can only barely hang on the stones at the edge of the cave. I hope those big hornets are blind and cannot see him. Buzz, unfortunately, reality is always cruel, and dust and smoke were still discovered by a big hornet. Looking at the double needles piercing towards him from the top of his head, Chen Yan surprisingly released his hands that were grabbing the edge of the hole. Mad, fight hard and see how your life is. If it doesn't work out, let me be reborn again. Dust and smoke fell towards the bottom of the cave, and the hole gradually shrank as they watched. Bang! Chen Yan felt a numbness behind her and fell into the water, possibly because Chen Yan's life should not have ended. He swam ashore with his tenacious survival consciousness and passed out in a coma. Chapter 2. The Turning Point of Fate. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Young bass, young bass. The unconscious dust and smoke felt as if something had pulled open their mouth. A sticky, foul-smelling flesh was stuffed into the mouth. He instinctively swallowed these poorly tasting meats. When he opened his eyes, he saw a small head that looked like a dinosaur. Chen Yan felt that the other person's appearance was very familiar. This is Eugene. Memories of past lives floated in Chen Yan's mind. The other person's appearance is truly reminiscent of the young Kira seen in the anime in the past life of Chen Yan. Yuki. Seeing Chen Yan open his eyes, young Kira exclaimed happily. Did you save me, Eugene? Thank you. Chen Yan struggled to get up. Looking at the only half of the mouse corpse left in Yukila's hand, I thanked Yukila's. Yuki. Eugene stuffed the remaining half of the mouse into Chen Yan and nodded happily at him. Thank you, Eugene, then I won't be polite. Dust and smoke did not disgust the mouse meat, he had eaten anything even more disgusting to him. He ate all the meat on the mouse and spat out the bones in his mouth. You don't have to say that the taste is even more delicious than the mice in the city. Perhaps it is because the body that travels through the dust and smoke is invincible to all diseases. Turning to look at the reflection of the pond water, I saw him disheveled, with his face covered in dried blood from mice. He dug a small pit next to the pond and washed his face with the water seeping out of the pit. A somewhat gloomy and pale face was revealed, with thick black circles under the eyes and thin cheeks. There are still 2 scratches on his left eye, which were dug out while he was grabbing the trash can with meow. Eugene, thank you for your life-saving kindness. I don't know how I can climb out of this deep pit. Looking at the vertical rock wall that was hundreds of meters high, he asked the young Kiras who was blinking at him in front of him. Young base, Eugene grabbed her little head. Suddenly, holding on to the dust and smoke, he came into a huge cave at the bottom of a large pit. Kiras arrived at the entrance of the cave with dust and smoke, and pointed his little paw at the huge mural in front of him. Dust and Smoke looked up and carefully at the murals on the flat rock wall. I saw that the mural was probably delineated by claws on the rock. I saw an armored Pokémon that looked like a pupa, spraying gas and flying out of the canyon. So, do you have to evolve into Shakiras in order to leave this cliff canyon? The dust and smoke on his face showed an unpleasant expression, affirming to young Jiraiya. Young base. I saw Eugene nodded somewhat dejectedly. Then I'm going to die of old age or starvation here. Chen Yan's eyes were lifeless, and he had no major pursuits. Even in the dark city of Tianshui, he just hopes to survive. I didn't expect to spend the rest of my life here now. No, I can't give up. I have my Pokémon experience from my past life. I can definitely make young Kiras evolve into Shakiras quickly, and then I can leave here. Thinking of this, Chen Yan's eyes lit up with hope again. Young Kiras, do you want to become stronger? I can help you become stronger and evolve into Shakiras faster. A ray of hope shone in Chen Yan's eyes, and this was his last chance. He hopes that Eugene will be willing to participate in his special training. Young base. Watching Eugila's change from a puzzled expression to a nod of agreement, Chen Yan knew she still had hope. In this way, relying on the minerals and numerous mice in the big cave, mine, as the foundation, Dust Smoke and young Kilas began their special training. Division Line Eugene, today is the first day of our special training. Please repeat my movements. Dust and Smoke demonstrated to young Kiras while exercising their own bodies. During his 10 years of survival, he has been working hard to exercise his body. In his past life, Chen Yan was also a martial arts enthusiast, and his physical exercise was quite good. This is also the cost he can compete with those tall homeless people for the trash can. After 10 years of wandering life, his hands had already been stained with many lives. There are both people and Pokémon, who clearly only want to survive. But the only resources left to survive are those, and if he doesn't kill them, it will only be him who dies. Once, that ordinary middle-aged social animal was forced into a ferocious beast by this world. Well done, young Jiraiya. I just dug a lot of iron-containing ore in the mine, and I believe it will be beneficial for you. Dust and Smoke carried the exhausted young Kiras to the front of the mine. Placed the several pieces of red iron ore that he discovered, the size of a basketball, in front of Shakiras. After a day of exploration, Chen Yan finally found out why the parents of Eugene left him in this canyon. This large cave was originally the place where the parents of young Jiraiya lived, and it was a mine containing many minerals. There was a curious expression in Eugene's eyes. He usually eats a piece of rock whenever he is hungry, and this is his first time eating this type of iron ore. Shakiras picked up a basketball-sized iron ore and took a bite. Like eating chocolate, making a popping sound. Yuki. Eugene's eyes lit up. He felt that the rocks he had eaten before were just like tasteless mantu, and the ore was just like a meat bun. Pieces of iron ore fell from his stomach, and young Kiras quickly regained his strength. And his armor also became more shiny, emitting a metallic texture. Upon seeing this scene, Chen Yan knew that there should be no problem with his cultivation method. In this way, Dust and Smoke mine stones and catch mice in the mine every day. Sometimes, mouse organs are used as bait to fish in the pond water. Day after day, year after year, 5 years have passed in the blink of an eye. In 5 years, Chen Yan has also turned 21 years old and has grown from a height of 1.6 meters to 1.78. The previously thin and weak body has also become slender and robust after several years of exercise. The originally gloomy face was still quite gloomy, but the dark circles under the eyes have disappeared. And with these 5 years of exercise, Eugene also grew from 0.6 meters to 0.8 meters in height. The scales have also become harder, and physical fitness has tripled in 5 years of exercise. But it's not enough, the evolution into Shakiras is still far away. Normal young Kiras want to evolve into Shakiras, it takes at least 30 years to start. It takes more than 50 years of accumulation to evolve into Bankiras. Dust and Smoke speculate that with the current situation of Eugene, it will take another 10 years for evolution to occur. But Chen Yan was not discouraged, although life was monotonous and impoverished for 5 years. But with the companionship of Eugene, his heart, which had fallen into darkness after coming to this world, recovered a lot. Sometimes he feels that spending his entire life with young Kiras is much better than his years in Tianshui City. Division line. A few days later, deep in the mining cave, Chen Yan is mining rare ore at the deepest part of the mine with his self-made iron hoe. A while ago, he discovered some silver containing ores here. He has been mining these silver mines for a period of time, which has helped to enhance the flexibility of the armor of the young Kiras. A large amount of rocks fell under the mining of Dust and Smoke, and suddenly a football-sized hole was broken in front of the rock wall by a hoe. The small hole emitted a blue light, and Dust and Smoke leaned close to the hole to look inside, to see what was shining. He saw a light ball about the size of his fist located inside a half-person hole. At this moment, a desire suddenly surged out of Chen Yan's heart. Chen Yan did not reject that desire. After all, he was no longer afraid of life and death now. Following one's true intention is also a good choice. He carefully observed the light ball, and in the end, he firmly grasped it. In an instant, many different memories crawled into the dusty brain. In the memory clip, he saw an elf carrying 18 stone slabs, resembling an alpaca, fighting against a monster resembling a human. The final result was that the monster was defeated, but the alpaca was also seriously injured and fell into a deep sleep. After the alpaca fell asleep, the barriers to his world became weak. Finally, it merged with a world emitting a black aura. And now this urban Pokémon world is the result of the fusion of two worlds. The previously kind world of Pokémon was polluted and neutralized by this world. The fact that the world can maintain basic order now is thanks to the Pokémon world. Aristocratic families, chaebol, and evil organizations divide one side in various parts of the world. This world is like the spring and autumn period and the warring states period, divided into countless forces of all sizes. Chapter 3. Family Members. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Tianshui City belonging to the western part of the Eurasian continent. Probably the location of the Arabian Peninsula in the past life of Dust and Smoke. This is led by a force called the Desert Alliance. Tianshui City is a border city of the Desert Alliance. And this photosphere is actually a flawed system. He used to be an excellent system in a family of systems that pursued progress. He was originally searching for a host in this dark world, intending to cultivate him into a generation of owls. But he never expected to be hit by the world fragments from the fusion of two worlds over 1,000 years ago. Tongzi was seriously injured and could only self-proclaim himself here. One day, 1,000 years later, a person from another world encountered the system of this other world, and the soul of Tongzi was revived as a result. After merging with the soul of Dust and Smoke, the system also successfully fused the fragmented laws of the Pokémon world. Tongzi gained extraordinary abilities through misfortune and fortune. When Chen Yan learned about the information of the photosphere and the secret of the fusion of two worlds, the system also regained its consciousness. And he is no longer the small system that used to mix in the ordinary world, now he has been completely transformed. Host, you are really lucky to have encountered my recently evolved system. This system has evolved into a Pokémon cultivation system. Please open the beginner's gift pack in your backpack. Opening his eyes, the dust and smoke listened as the excited system in his mind twitched at the corner of his mouth. He always feels that this system is not very reliable. The system panel appeared in front of Chen Yan's eyes. 1. Host information 2. Sprite panel 3. Effort value system 4. Backpack 5. Exchange store, unlocked, 6. Task, unlocked, do you only have these few functions in the system? Dust and smoke twitched at the corners of the simple panel floating in the air in front of them. That's definitely not true, but the system has just been successfully integrated. To have more functions, it is necessary to absorb the energy of the world's energy. As long as the host can obtain the energy of the energy system, it can become stronger. The system does not care about the roast of dust and smoke. Excitedly introducing himself to the future, he drew a big cake for Chen Yan. Dust and smoke ignored the large pancake drawn by the system and opened his backpack. Click on the only gift package inside the backpack, and 2 logos appear, one to open and the other to view. Chen Yan first clicked to view, and saw that the introduction of the beginner gift package was. The beginner gift pack contains a power to build the original Pokémon world's attributes. A superpower that can awaken the power of this attribute to the host. The excitement in Chen Yan's heart, this is a superpower. In Tianshui City, he has only heard of the noble and powerful status of superpowers. In Tianshui City, he was an absolute power class, and now he can also become a superpower. Chen Yan eagerly opened the beginner's gift package. I saw a rock-colored attribute force rushing out of the panel and entering the body of dust and smoke. Dust and smoke felt as if they were merging with the energy of the rock formations in this world. At this moment, he seemed to be the master of the rock series. I saw Chen Yan's body become even taller and stronger, with a height increase from 1.78 meters to 1.85. My figure has also grown stronger from being slender before. A layer of rock armor grew out of thin air from his body. Chen Yan opened his eyes and emitted a brilliant light. He shook his hands and looked at his bulging muscles. He felt the surging power within his body. At this moment, his ambition, which had been suppressed for many years due to his lack of strength, erupted like a ferocious beast that had escaped from its cage. He suddenly wanted to change this world, even if the means of change were cruel and bloody. He wanted to change this dark world. By the way of the system, how should I collect the power of Qi Luck? Is it the son of Qi Luck who defeats this world? The host does not need to defeat any sons of luck, as there are no sons of luck in this world. What the host needs to do is to achieve the initial goal of the system. World unity. As long as the host kills a powerful enemy or occupies a larger force and territory, the system can obtain Qi points. At that time, I will unlock more features, and the system has a symbiotic relationship with you. The host will also receive a lot of rewards for completing tasks. Chen Yan's eyes became sharp, and he remembered the dark decade he had traveled to this world. Sooner or later, he will change this dark world. I understand the system, but first I need to test my superpowers, and then whether I can take in Eugene as a companion. The original Dust and Smoke had no intention of recapturing Eugene. It's not that I don't want to, after all, the other party is the legendary quasi-god Pokémon. But with his original lifespan and abilities, he was unable to cultivate the young Kiras into a powerful Bankiras. But now it's different, he not only has the system now. He also possesses a rock series superpower that is very compatible with young Kiras. I believe that as long as Eugene is willing to become partners with him, they will soon possess powerful abilities. However, he respected Eugene's choice, and during his 5 years of constant interaction, he had long regarded each other as family. Although he is not a good person, he respects the choices of his family. Chen Yan held the silver mine dug out today. Previously, he needed to transport heavy silver mines with a mining truck several times, but now it only needs to be transported once. The iron sheet mining car is made from dust and smoke by refining coal and iron ore extracted from previous ironworks and mines. It is about the same size as the mining truck in the mine, much more convenient to move by hand than before. The dusty face pushing the mining cart was filled with joy, as he knew that his fate was about to undergo a major reversal after today. Division line, who, in the center of the open space in the canyon, Eugene was sprinting back and forth. The speed is even faster than the Olympic champions in their past lives, and the rapid running even brings a whirring wind. Eugene just stopped 10 sets of back and forth sprints, ready to take a break. During the next group of frog leaps, I heard something moving on the ground and pressing against the ground. Upon hearing this, Eugene knew that it was the return of dust and smoke. This proves that this morning's training has also come to an end. He ran happily to the entrance of the mine and waited for the dust and smoke to appear. At the first glance, while waiting at the entrance of the cave, young Kerr saw a silver mine over 3 meters high piled up on top of the mining cart. When Eugene saw the sturdy dust and smoke behind the mining cart, dressed in rock armor, she was shocked and opened her mouth wide. Yuji. Kerr revolved around the dust and smoke, feeling left and right, curious about the huge changes in the dust and smoke. Chen Yan lowered the armrest of the mining car and slapped away the small claws that were touching his abdominal armor. Chen Yan smiled and said to Eugilas, I'm different from before. I've become a superpower now, very powerful. To Eugene, Chen Yan can always reveal his true feelings like he does with his family. In this world, only Eugene is different from him. Looking at the smiling dust in front of me, although my appearance changed greatly. But the familiar aura confirmed the other person's identity at first glance. Young base. Are you asking me what superpowers I have gained? After 5 years of companionship, Chen Yan can now instantly understand what Eugene is saying. Although it's all the cries of the younger generation, their years of interaction are not fake. Let me demonstrate my superpowers to you. Dust and smoke brought young Kerr to the empty space where he had just been exercising. Stay away from me, Eugene. I'll show you my superpowers. I saw the energy of the rock system wrapped around the hands of dust smoke. In an instant, a pair of rock armor condensed from the hands of Chen Yan, and then he hit the ground heavily with his fists. Bang! I saw a big hole instantly created by this punch on the originally flat ground. It is half a meter deep and has a power comparable to a hand grenade from a past life of dust and smoke. Then the dust and smoke stomped heavily on the ground, with countless sharp rock cones piercing out. Each rock cone has a small arm thickness of 3 meters in length. A rocky forest has formed within a range of 5 meters near the dust and smoke. Eugene touched the rock cone and forcefully broke a piece into her mouth. The taste and flavor, like chocolate, made him unable to help but emit a happy childlike sound. I saw the rock forest shattering into stones and falling down. Watching the young Kerr's dust smoke holding half of the rock cone in his claws, he painfully covered his forehead. Is Eugilas delicious? No, let's throw it away and eat this one. I saw that the armor in Chen Yan's hand had disappeared, and he gathered the energy of the rock series in his hand. A fist-sized stone containing a large amount of pure rock energy appeared out of thin air. Eugilas seemed to have smelled some peerless delicacy. Quickly throwing away the rock cone, he ran to Chen Yan and eagerly looked at the stone in Chen Yan's hand. Chen Yan crouched down and placed the stone on the paw of Eugene. Eugene happily embraced and ate, revealing a happy voice from Eugene. Chen Yan patted the head of Eugilas and smiled helplessly. Sure enough, as he guessed, the snack foodie Eugilas didn't care about his superpowers at all. However, he must be very interested in rocks containing rock series energy, and he named them Essence of Rocks. The superpower of dust smoke is called the Soul of Rock, and its function is also very simple. Gathering the energy of the rock series between heaven and earth can enhance physical fitness. These energies can also be condensed into rock weapons, and rock energy can be used to attack rocks. Unfortunately, the rocks that have accumulated dust and smoke can only exist for a few tens of seconds now. And the amount of rock he can condense now is not large. Otherwise, Chen Yan could climb out of this 100-meter deep courtyard with his superpowers. As for why it is said to be very compatible with Eugene, the reason is also very simple. As long as Chen Yan has sufficient spiritual power, he can make rocks containing rock energy. And young Keelas is an elf that feeds on rocks, absorbing the energy of the rock series by eating them. Ultimately, quantitative change leads to qualitative change and continuous growth, ultimately evolving into new forms. And the superpowers of dust and smoke can greatly accelerate the growth of young Keelas, enabling them to become stronger and evolve faster. And absorbing pure rock series energy can also lay a better foundation for young Keelas. Eugene, now I have the ability to change my destiny. Perhaps I have changed, I may no longer be the scumbag who wanted to live a miserable life. Chen Yan looked at Keelas with a complex gaze, and he remained silent for a few seconds. As if recalling past experiences, his drifting pupils became firm. Eugene, are you willing to help me and I become partners? If you don't agree, I can understand that there may be a concern for your life. It's just my wishful thinking. Dust and smoke touched young Keelas' smooth one-horned hand and stopped moving, causing his mood to become uneasy. I saw Keelas slapping the hand that placed the dust and smoke on his head with one paw and shouting angrily. Young base, young base, young base. Chen Yan, I'm not your companion, we're family. Chen Yan was taken aback and looked at Keelas jumping in front of her. Suddenly, Chen Yan hugged Keelas. Eugene no longer moved and hugged Chen Yan's body. Chen Yan's tightly closed eyes couldn't help but shed tears. Yes, I was wrong. Eugene, we are family. Division Line 1. Partial background settings. This world is a dark and chaotic fusion of Pokémon world, which has developed into an urban Pokémon world. This world remains unchanged due to the fusion of two worlds, but the original world has increased by about 5 times in proportion. The divine beasts have not appeared on a large scale for certain reasons. In this world, humans live under the oppression and even tyranny of rulers. We also need to resist some Pokémon herds that have cruel personalities due to unknown reasons. There are a small number of superpowers among humans, and most of this book is about original superpowers. Book enthusiasts can also put forward their own ideas, and I can add them to later articles. The division of power in this world. 1. Normal level 2. Elite level 3. Master level 4. Heavenly King level 5. Champion level 6. Second level God 7. First level God 8. Creator God. At present, the strongest human superpowers can reach the championship level, and in order to advance, they need something called a deity. This is also the key for Pokémon to reach the championship level, so let's not spoil it for now. Dust and Smoke are about to take the first step in conquering this world on their own. This also represents the official start of the plot. Readers, please stay tuned. Brain Storage Area. Chapter 4. Evolution, A New Beginning. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Time. The 10th year of Dust and Smoke falling into the deep pit location. In the center of the open space at the bottom of the pit. Go on, Eugene, I believe you can evolve successfully. Chen Yan's heart was filled with encouragement, and his eyes stared fixedly at the young Keelas on the ground a few meters away. I saw Eugene standing under the sunset, and the sky above the sinkhole was dyed wine red by the sunset. At this moment, a white light began to emanate from Eugene's body. The white light gradually enveloped the body of young Keelas, forming a white light cluster like a silkworm pupa. Pop! The white light shattered, and it shouldn't be Shakira who appeared in front of the Dust and Smoke. Shakira's is covered in a gray-blue hard shell, with 4 sharp corners on both sides and 3 small horns on his forehead. Its eyes are red in color, and it sees through 2 holes on the shell. There are also 2 triangular holes above the holes. Watching Shakira's image change greatly in front of him, Chen Yen felt excited. He quickly ran to Shakira's, who had grown to 1.5 meters tall. Tapping on Shakira's armor revealed a smile. Congratulations, Shakira's. Our 10 years of hard work have not been in vain. Tonight for dinner, I can already synthesize blue-grade rock crystals, sand, Shakira's nodded happily. The items in the system backpack can be divided into several qualities. Normal. White Elite. Green Rare. Blue Epic. Purple Legend. Orange Myth. Red. The blue quality rock crystals have a significant effect on the current master level Shakira's. Watching Shakira's devouring rock crystals in front of him, Dust Smoke opened the system's elf option. System, scan now reaches Shakira's, update sprite panel. Okay, host. I saw a blur on the elf panel of the once young Kira's in front of Chen Yen. Then a new elf panel appeared in front of Dust and Smoke. Sprite panel, 1, name. Shakira's strength. Master level mid-term category. Bullet Pokémon attribute. Rock plus ground characteristic. Molting, sometimes heals abnormal conditions by removing the skin from the body. Height. 1.5 meters. Weight. 246 kilograms. Skills. Impact, tit for tat, stare, rock fall, bite, terrible face, rock fall, stomp, harsh sound, knock down, bite, earthquake, sharp stone attack, mountain top, stand in, hold, rock blockade. This is currently the elf panel of Shakira's, which is 2 circles larger than the regular Shakira's. His physical fitness is also stronger, making him a little giant among his peers. Chen Yen looked at Shakira's panel and felt very satisfied. 10 years of effort have not been in vain, much stronger than the data he saw in his previous life on the Pokémon Illustrated library. Then he clicked on the system's effort value panel and saw 6 data bars with plus or minus signs appearing in front of him. HP, 100/100 attack. 0 out of 100 defense. 80 out of 100 special attack. 0 out of 100 special defense. 80 out of 100 speed. 0 out of 100 to earn effort points. Elves need to exercise for 4 hours a day. This way, you can earn a little effort every week. The effort value here is much stronger than the effort value of the previous life of Chen Yen. Each effort point is equivalent to 0.1 race points, and 100 points is equivalent to 10 race points. Don't underestimate these 10 race values. You should know that race values represent how high the upper limit of this elf is. As a legendary quasi-god elf, Bankiras has a race value of up to 600 points. With the addition of 60 race points brought by effort, his basic race value can even be comparable to the race value of a first-level god. Adding to Kira's can also allow for super evolution, and its race value can be increased by an additional 100 points. Adding up to a high racial value of 760 can be considered terrifying. Dust and Smoke imagine the future with surging emotions. Since Eugene has evolved into Shakira's. When Shakira's became familiar with exercising his new body, he began his first small goal of competing for luck. Take Tianshui City. Division line. Over the next 3 days, Shakira's kept getting familiar with his new body. And Chen Yen is also adapting to his superpowers that have just surpassed the elite level. I saw the lower body of the Dust and Smoke wrapped in a thin layer of rock armor. The clothes on my body have been worn as strips of cloth in the world for 10 years. So in the past 2 years, Dust and Smoke can only live wearing rock armor. However, Dust and Smoke usually only wrap their lower body in armor. The upper half of the body is constantly naked, revealing the muscular contours of the upper body. I saw the Dust and Smoke waving forward casually, causing the air to shake and hundreds of thin and sharp rock blades appearing in the air. Like locusts passing through densely packed areas, they quickly cut through the air and make a sharp hissing sound. I saw a huge rock 10 meters away and 5 meters high, cut by hundreds of sharp rock blades. The rock blade cut on the giant stone, only to see scattered gravel and dust flying. As the smoke and dust dissipated, the upper half of the 5-meter-high boulder was cut completely by the rock blade. The remaining lower half of the boulder is covered with deep cuts made by sharp blades. The rock blade skill I developed has good power, and the other two skills have their own unique effects. With my current strength, I should be able to deal with those underworld gangs in the southern area of Qianshui City. Dust and Smoke looked at the miserable state of the boulder and thought to themselves. Bang! Turning around, it turned out that Shakira's was flying rapidly in a straight line in the air. As a result, it flew off course and collided with a rock wall several tens of meters high. Dust and Smoke quickly dodged the falling gravel and dust, only to see Shakira's fall from a height of several tens of meters. With a loud bang, a big hole 4 or 5 meters deep was smashed into the ground. Dust and Smoke covered their forehead and came to the big pit, pulling out Shakira's, whose head was embedded in the earth. Sand, Chen Yan understood what Shakira's meant. Flying is so difficult, it killed me. You are already a mature boy, be strong. Chen Yan saw this bowl of soul chicken soup poured down, and Shakira's regained his spirit and continued to practice flying. 3 days later, Shakira's finally learned to fly freely, although he could only fly in a straight line. But if you fly at a slight angle, you can fly out of this sinkhole. Put some usable items into the system backpack, and bind Shakira's body with Dust and Smoke legs. Grasping the corners of Shakira's head with both hands, rock armor appeared on his body. Everything is ready, Shakira's launches. Sha. At the command of the smoke and dust, high-pressure gas spewed out from the crevices of Shakira's armor. They launched in an instant, and in just 2 seconds, Shakira's rushed out of the sinkhole that had trapped them for 10 years with dust and smoke. Looking at the rising sun in the distance, this moment. There is an indescribable joy in the hearts of Dust and Shakira's. Suddenly, they seem to have discovered something and looked together several tens of meters away. Chapter 5. Poachers. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Just when Shakira's and Dust had not yet fallen from the air at a height of over 10 meters. They saw 3 people sneaking along the forest path several tens of meters away. These 3 people are wearing camouflage suits, full of banditry, and holding hunting rifles with 60% wear and tear in their hands. 2 2-meter-long ape snakes and a monkey monster followed behind. Chen Yan saw the other person's appearance and immediately confirmed their identity as poachers. Shakira's, let's fly straight there. They are poachers of Pokémon. I happened to be missing all my clothes and Pokémon balls, so the other party brought them to my door. Dust and Smoke quickly explained the reason to Shakira's, and without hesitation, Shakira's stopped his jet in the air. After adjusting the direction in the air, it would be like a rocket shooting towards the trio. The 3 poachers on the opposite side also noticed 2 Dust and Smoke shooting towards them, but it was already too late. Dust and Smoke quickly let go of Shakira's as they were about to hit the opposite side. Jumped off his body. Bang! The earth roared, but before the trio could react, 2 were sent away by Shakira's. Ah, Shakira's, my clothes. Leave the remaining 1 to me, and you'll handle those 3 elves. Dust and Smoke stood up from the ground, watching as the 2 of them had been smashed into a bloody mess by Shakira's. Judging from this situation, the clothes should not be able to be worn anymore. Dust and Smoke can only let Shakira's deal with those 3 elves. Chen Yan approached the remaining poacher and looked at the poacher in front of him, who had a similar physique. Dust and Smoke supported their slightly stubble chin and nodded in satisfaction. The poacher, lying on the ground with a big beard, was scared out of his wits by the sudden accident. However, he instinctively shot at the strange man in front of him wearing rock armor. The old double-barreled hunting rifle exploded with a loud bang, and two specially designed large hunting bullets quickly shot towards the head of Chen Yan. But in Chen Yan's eyes, these two bullets were not fast, and he could even easily dodge them. This is because the evolution of superpowers also strengthened his physical body. His current physical function can be comparable to that of an elite-level elf. But Chen Yan did not dodge, and the rock helmet that only showed his eyes instantly condensed and appeared on Chen Yan's head. Bang! Two bullets hit the dusty helmet, like a medieval heavily armored rock helmet with only two white marks, not even scratches. Punching the opponent's face into his head, Chen Yan turned his head and looked towards Shakira's. Those three elves, who are only elite level, have already been defeated by Shakira's. Dust and smoke stripped the hunter of his bloodless clothes, and the rock armor dispersed, putting the hunter's clothes on him. Sure enough, I prefer soft fabric clothes over hard rock armor. Pick up the Pokémon ball next to the body that has become blank due to the death of Pokémon, and format the chip inside the ball. Drop a drop of your own blood into it and rebind DNA. These are all the methods of black eating black that I learned from mixing dust and smoke in the black market. Don't you think we should use them now? Chen Yan placed the elf ball in his hand in front of Shakira's forehead. Shakira's, we are going to enter the city next, in order to better infiltrate Tianshui City. I will keep you inside the Pokémon ball. The risk of exposing you as a quasi-god Pokémon is too high. Sand, Shakira's nodded in understanding and took the initiative to touch the Poké ball with the corner of his head. Shakira's turned into a red light and was sucked into the Pokémon ball. Looking at the elf ball shrinking to the size of an orange. Dust and smoke couldn't help but sigh that the Pokémon ball has greatly facilitated Pokémon trainers to carry their own Pokémon. Chen Yan ignored the bodies of the three poachers. Wait a moment, the wild wolves and boars in the Yanfeng Mountains will naturally help him solve these corpses. After all, this world is a fusion of two worlds, and ordinary wild animals also exist. And it has become a food source for many meaty Pokémon, forming a brand new food chain. Looking towards the direction of Tianshui City not far away, Chen Yan's eyes seemed to be burning with flames. This time it's not your turn to harass me in Tianshui City, it's my turn to harass you. At this moment, the system in my mind also sent out task prompts. Host, you have a new task. Without hesitation, Chen Yan immediately clicked on the task interface, where two tasks appeared prominently. Main Task 1. Conquer Introduction. You were once bullied in this city, so now go conquer it. Reward. 100,000 chi points plus 1 epic level Pokémon egg plus flash potion, random plus 40 race points, side task 2. Revenge Introduction. Kill the leader of the evil dog gang and the captain of the security team who used to use you as a scapegoat. Reward. 10,000 chi points plus epic level self-selected skills system thoughtful reminder. Just now, the host's elf killed 3 elite Pokémon and rewarded them with 100 chi points, unlocking the system store. Oh, has the store been unlocked? Let me see how strong the purchasing power of this lucky spot is. Open the system store with dust and smoke, and you will see a dazzling array of items on it. The price of dust and smoke can be determined based on the quality of the items. And the store is also divided into several modules, each quality corresponding to the quality inside the backpack. The modules are divided into 1. Characteristics 2. Skills 3. Elf food 4. Miscellaneous items 5. Rare materials 6. Unlocked, surprise or not, Chen Yan carefully looked at the items in the store, and they were indeed very useful. He is also very greedy, but with his 100 points of luck, he can only buy some white and green items. And the starting price for features and skills is above 500 gas transport points. The lowest level items are blue, so I can't afford them. Dropped gold coin remarks. Normal. Heavenly King 1. Normal .1.92. Elite .10.993. Master .1000.99994. Heavenly King .10,000.99999. Exchange prices for different qualities. White Purple 1. White 1.492. Green 50.4993. Blue 500.49994. Purple 5,000.49999. For example, it should be noted that the randomly hatched quasi-god elf egg is a purple quality selling 49,999 points of luck. The price is really outrageous, but it is reasonable. After all, the adult quasi-god strength can basically reach the late stage of the Heavenly King level, and can also protect descendants for hundreds of years. After a rough look at the system store, Chen Yan directly threw away the clothes of the poacher and spent 20 points buying a whole set of clothes. A black hoodie with black pants and black sneakers. Perhaps it was because of those 10 years of dark life that Chen Yan particularly liked black clothes. So, covered in black, like the dust and smoke of evil spirits in the dark night. Heading towards Jianshui City under the afterglow of the sunset. This time, he will no longer be the maggot in that dark corner, he will overturn this city. Chapter 6. Infiltration and Killing. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. De Co Lois Ara Trong Quatrin Lay Text. Chapter 7. The Evil Dog Gang. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Location. Qingnan Black Market. Chen Yan walked on a deserted street and suddenly turned into a pitch-black alley. Leaving the alley revealed a street that was completely different from the outside city area. I saw many people wearing black robes or masks walking on a dilapidated asphalt road. On both sides of the road are black shops selling various prohibited items. This is a city village in the old urban area of the south of the city, with 1 or 2 floors of dilapidated earthen houses on both sides of the road. Chen Yan, dressed in a black robe, covered his figure and infiltrated the pedestrians. Of course, the black market cannot be solely based on appearance, as it is a hub for various illegal transactions. Led by poaching elves, there are wild elves, elf eggs, elf balls, and many props for cultivating elves. For example, there are tree fruits, skill machines, energy crystals, and so on. There are also human trafficking, organ trafficking, and various illegal materials that can be found on the black market. And the goal of Chen Yan is to purchase intelligence. In 10 years, since the security forces and the evil dog gang still exist, there will definitely be significant changes. And he knew nothing and needed to purchase their information on the black market. Dust and smoke turned and entered a pitch-black dirt road next to the road. At the end of the dirt road, a black 2-story attic hidden in the shadows appeared in front of the dust and smoke. This is the Dark Pavilion of Chen Yan's target this time. Dark Pavilion is an organization that specializes in collecting various information and selling it. Dust and Smoke, wearing a black robe covering their entire body, pushed open the wooden door and entered the attic. I saw that the attic was out of place with the dirty and chaotic environment in the black market. The wooden floor is covered with high-end gold-edged carpets, and wooden mahogany cabinets are everywhere by the walls. Above are vases filled with red tulips. In front of the dark pavilion is a counter similar to that of an ancient pawnshop. On the high-end mahogany counter, there is a transparent baffle made of tempered glass. Behind the glass panel is a beautiful shopkeeper wearing a qipao, with bulging chest muscles and a hot figure. As soon as Chen Yan entered the attic, he caught the attention of the shopkeeper. The strong black-robed man in front of me emitted a strong smell of blood. I don't know what information your esteemed guest wants to purchase. The information we have in our dark cabinet is the most comprehensive in the entire black market. The tender and seductive voice of the shopkeeper reached Chen Yan's ears. But Chen Yan was not someone who coveted beauty. He walked up to the counter and asked the shopkeeper. How do you address the shopkeeper? The shopkeeper also noticed that the other party was not interested in her at all, and she no longer showed off her figure. Her face also became serious. "Just call me Mr. Gu, I don't know what information the guest wants." "Mr. Gu, I don't know if you have all the intelligence from the Evil Dog Gang and the South City Security Force over the past decade." Chen Yan generously explained his intention of coming. After all, the Dark Pavilion is known for its strict mouth. Chen Yang once heard that the Dark Cabinet is a powerful force spread throughout the Middle East. "Oh, is it the rising Evil Dog Gang in Qingnan in the past decade, and is there any news about the Qingnan security team? It seems that your goal is not simple." Shopkeeper Ku squinted his big eyes like a fox, guessing the identity of Chen Yan in his heart. "Is there any connection between the other party and the successful promotion of the captain of the security team 10 years ago? Is there any?" Chen Yan asked the shopkeeper Gu coldly, but did not answer her question. "Don't worry, Your Excellency. The Dark Cabinet naturally has their intelligence, but is this price a bit high?" Mr. Gu gestured and rubbed 2 scallion white fingers. "How much is it?" 2 million Union coins. Chen Yan was also startled when he heard the price offered by the other party. "You can buy an elite-level elf on the black market with 2 million alliance coins. It seems that the Evil Dog Gang and the security team have been doing well in the past decade. Their intelligence is so valuable." Chen Yan thought to herself, and a huge square gold nugget weighing 10 pounds appeared in her hand. Dust and smoke threw the gold nuggets directly onto the counter, making a loud noise. This gold nugget is still a gold mine extracted during the mining of the mine in the past. Later, he awakened the spirit of the rock. Young Helas ate the essence of the rock he made every day. After no longer needing to eat minerals, he used his superpowers to collect some gold. "Are these enough?" "Enough, enough." Manager Gu rubbed his hands and pressed a button on the counter, causing the counter where the gold nugget was located to sink. I saw shopkeeper Gu pull out the wooden board like a drawer, put on gloves, and picked up the gold nugget. After confirming that there was no problem with the gold nuggets, shopkeeper Gu walked up the stairs behind him. A few minutes later, Manager Ku arrived at the counter with a document in hand. "Repeat the previous operation and send out the intelligence." Chen Yan picked up the intelligence materials and flipped through them one by one. As the dust and smoke kept scrolling through, he finally found out why the intelligence from the Evil Dog Gang and the security forces had to spend him 2 million alliance coins. Intelligence content. 10 years ago, the Qingnan Public Security Brigade cracked a drug case with a significant amount of drugs. Therefore, he received a reward from the alliance, and the captain of the Qingnan Public Security Team, Sha Kun, was promoted to become the captain of the Tianshui City Public Security Corps. After Shikun became the captain of the Tianshui City Public Security Corps, he was awarded a master-level mid-term Pokémon Monster Power by the Alliance. From then on, Shikun became the 3rd master-level trainer in Tianshui City. The other 2 are the mayor of Tianshui City and the dean of Tianshui Elf Academy. They are all elf trainers with a master-level Pokémon. And after Shikun became the captain of the security team. I don't know why I suddenly secretly supported one of the 3 major gangs in the south of the city, the Evil Dog Gang. With the support of resources from Shikun, the Evil Dog Gang, whose leader is Morning Biao, has developed and grown. 10 years have passed, and the Evil Dog Gang has now annexed 2 other major gangs in the south of the city, becoming the dominant force. The Evil Dog Gang is currently engaging with the 3 major forces in the north of the city and has gained the upper hand. However, the dean of the Elf Academy in the east of the city did not want to see Sha Kun's subordinates unify the underground forces in Tianshui City. So secretly, they also provided some support to the 3 major forces in the east of the city, making it difficult for the courts of the north and south to compete and determine the outcome. As for the mayor of Tianshui City, he was in the mayor's building in the city center and did not participate in the conflict between the 2 sides, sitting firmly on the fishing platform. Note: There is still a lot of detailed information in the intelligence, so we won't describe it here. This information will appear later. After reading the intelligence, Chen Yan left the dark pavilion under the curious gaze of shopkeeper Gu. Chen Yan has now learned about Shikun's strength and the current situation in Tianshui City through intelligence. Chen Yan was wondering if he could collaborate with the dean of the Tianshui Elf Academy. Since he wanted to kill Sha Kun and Sun Biao, the enemy of the enemy would be friends, and Chen Yan had an idea in his heart. If he can kill and replace Shikun's position, occupy the south of the city. In this way, whether he accumulates strength or develops his own power, the speed will be qualitatively improved. Chen Yan thought and did the same thing, after purchasing some items on the black market. He held a detailed map of Tianshui City purchased on the black market in his hand and headed to the Tianshui City Elf Academy located in the north of the city. Chapter 8. Kerr. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Location. North City Elf Academy. With Chen Yan's current physical fitness, it only took him one night to reach the Elf Academy in the north of the city from the south. From the information purchased from the Dark Pavilion, Chen Yan learned that the dean of the Elf Academy is named Kerr. I am almost 50 years old this year, and I have been serving as the dean of Tianshui Elf Academy for 20 years. The information also includes the address of Dean Kerr, which is a villa in the teacher dormitory area of the school. And the dust and smoke are now outside the wall of this dormitory area. Chen Yan looked at the 3-meter-high wall in front of him, with a power grid over 1 meter high on top. Chen Yan first investigated the surveillance in the dormitory area and found that Dean Kerr's villa was adjacent to the community wall. However, there are many surveillance cameras near the wall, making it difficult for dust and smoke to infiltrate by climbing over the wall. At night, in the forest not far from the wall, dust and smoke stepped on the ground. Surprisingly, a hole appeared on the grassland, which was widened by rocks. This is Chen Yan using the soul of rock to channel the energy of the rock series into the community like a thread. This thread assimilates the surrounding soil and turns it into rock. After turning all the surrounding soil into rocks, absorb the energy from the rock series in the middle. This resulted in a circular rock channel with a diameter of 2 meters. Dust and smoke jumped into the hole, and then a half-person high rock appeared to block the entrance. Dust and smoke fell into the cave, and a glowing fluorescent stone appeared in the hand. The light blue fluorescence illuminated the dark cave. Bang bang. Dust and smoke gently lifted a half-person high artificial mountain above their heads. Looking out, this is exactly the garden of Dean Kerr's villa. This villa has a 3-meter-high stone wall, which is exceptionally sturdy, and the rock foundation is even 4 meters deep. But unfortunately, in front of the soul of rock, they are all just playing with clay. Dust and smoke walked quietly to the villa and looked at the second-floor window that had been opened due to the hot summer. Dust and smoke jumped up lightly and jumped in from the window. Chen Yan looked around with his extraordinary senses and found that the villa was empty. Only one bedroom was illuminated. Chen Yan walked to the bedroom door without making any footsteps. He could hear someone inside making a rustling sound of writing paper. Chen Yan thought that she was here to cooperate and there was no need to disturb the other party. If it triggers a battle, it will still be a bit troublesome with his current strength. Alas, the feeling of being tied up is really uncomfortable, we must quickly become stronger. Chen Yan thought about it and knocked on the bedroom door, and the rustling sound of writing inside disappeared instantly. The sound of a heavy object landing suddenly came from inside. Chen Yan knew that the other party was releasing their own elf. Both sides were trapped in a stiff atmosphere, but in the end, Chen Yan took the initiative to speak up. Can Dean Kerr talk to me? I would like to discuss a collaboration with you. You should know that since I have the ability to infiltrate your villa, I have the ability to kill you, but I didn't do that. I believe your excellency the dean should feel my sincerity. Chen Yan deliberately changed her voice, and her hoarse words came out of Chen Yan's mouth. Dean Kerr in the bedroom pondered silently for a few seconds before choosing to open the door for Chen Yan. I saw a strong and 1.6-meter tall flame monkey open the bedroom door. Come on in, I'm very curious about what you said about cooperation. At this moment, Chen Yan also heard Dean Kerr's calm reply. Under the watchful gaze of the flame monkey, dust smoke entered the spacious bedroom. At a glance, I saw Dean Kerr sitting at his desk, wearing a cabby beast nightgown and looking serious at him with a national face. Kerr is of medium height, approximately 175 meters tall, with a well-proportioned figure and a scholarly demeanor. I saw Chen Yan wearing a black robe and a Pikachu mask on his face, making it impossible for Kerr to see through Chen Yan's identity. I don't know how to address your excellency. Just call me Yanjun. So why did your excellency Yanjun come to find me, this old man, late at night? Kerr, who was sitting in the chair, stared intently at the smoke and asked. A sofa made of rock appeared beneath Chen Yan's body. Chen Yan sat directly on it with a golden sword, and Kerr's pupils shrank at the sight. Chen Yan directly turned the tables and expressed his purpose to Kerr. I don't know if Dean Kerr wants to get rid of Sha Kun and Sun Biao. I didn't expect your excellency to be a superpower. It's disrespectful, but Sha Kun is my colleague. How could I possibly want to solve him? Upon seeing this, Chen Yan directly threw intelligence about Shikun and Mobiao targeting the east of the city, as well as intelligence about Kerr's covert support for underground forces in the north, onto Kerr's desk. But before it was thrown, it was intercepted by the flame monkey in mid-air. Flame monkey, give me something. In the reluctant gaze of the flame monkey, Kerr took the intelligence from its hand. As Kerr scanned the pages, his eyes gradually became sharp. He looked up at Chen Yan, his voice questioning. Yanjun, what is your purpose? Who the hell are you? Although there is a conflict between me and Sha Kun, I will definitely not let foreign forces interfere in it. My goal. I want to replace Shikun's position, as for who I am. Chen Yan threw a piece of paper to Kerr, which was clearly a bounty, but its edges had already turned yellow. I saw that it looked like the dust and smoke 10 years ago. The long string of bounty below the bounty order surprisingly amounts to 1 million alliance coins. Under Kerr's surprised gaze, Chen Yan took off Pikachu's mask and revealed a face that was only 3 parts similar to the one on the bounty. But with Kerr's years of experience, he could see that the facial bones of the other person and the young man on the bounty were the same. But the other person's face looks more muscular and mature. Your Excellency is actually the drug dealer leader's misfortune 10 years ago. Is your misfortune to seek revenge for your brothers? What does this have to do with your desire to replace Shikun? After confirming Chen Yan's identity, Kerr seemed to have guessed the other party's revenge intention in his heart. But why does the other party want Shikun's position? The drug trafficking leader's misfortune is ridiculous. I was just a subordinate of the evil dog gang back then. That drug trafficking group is just a pawn of the evil dog gang and Sha Kun. The dust smoke emitted a mocking smile, which was really interesting. The dean of Tianshui City didn't even know the inside story from 10 years ago. What? Sha Kun's courage is so great. Upon hearing Chen Yan's words, Kerr's face showed shock, and suddenly he seemed to have thought of something, his face turning ugly. Can you say it's the mayor? He actually supported Sha Kun as a thug to balance me. However, looking at the current situation, Shikun can no longer control it, which is why he has the batch of elf eggs he sponsored for the Elf Academy a few days ago. These words are all thoughts in Dean Kerr's heart, looking at the dust and smoke sitting on the rock sofa in front of him. He didn't choose to conceal it and told Chen Yan his guess. Interestingly, that is to say, Sha Kun is the mayor's dog, a dog that is about to backfire on its owner. You guys are not really good things. Chen Yan really didn't expect such insider information to be included. This is all because I proposed to let those ordinary children enter the Elf Academy to study. Dean Kerr then revealed the true reason behind this matter. The mayor's strength is not as strong as mine. He is just a mid-master elf trainer sent by the Desert Alliance to garrison Tianshui City, and I have almost reached the late master stage. After I put forward my own ideas, the mayor agreed on the surface because of my strength. But now it seems that Sha Kun was specifically trained by him to deal with me. It's just that it's out of control now, but my plan hasn't been successfully implemented yet. The mocking expression of Chen Yan turned into an ice face again. I didn't expect you to be a good person. In this city, you are one of the few good people I have ever seen. It's really interesting. Chen Yan did not mock the other party, as their actions actually overlapped with their goals. His original plan was to master Tianshui City, so that commoners could also join the Elf Academy to study. This can also quickly cultivate a large number of elf trainers. I don't know if Your Excellency Kerr would dare to take a gamble. I have a dream to unify this world, and your ideals align with my direction. Looking at the young man in front of him, full of energy, his eyes seemed to be burning with flames. Kerr's heart was suddenly touched by the words of dust and smoke, but he did not agree. Ha ha ha, do you want to persuade me, Lord Yen? If you can prove your strength and what you have done, then I may agree to your invitation. Chen Yan knew that he was not the legendary mouth-hiding powerhouse. It's just a pipe dream to try to convince the other party without any evidence. But an impression still needs to be left for the other party. Chen Yan took out a poke ball from his belt and released Shakira's. This is also to show the other party one's strength. Sand. Watching Shakira's appear in the bedroom, exuding a powerful aura. Flame Monkey and Kerr are both on alert. Relax, Dean Kerr. I just want to prove my strength. I don't know if I am qualified to discuss cooperation with you now. Chen Yan smiled and asked Kerr. Your Excellency Yen Jun has a strong ability to possess the quasi-divine treasure, Kumeng. Interestingly, let's talk about your thoughts, Your Excellency Yanjun. Maybe I will be interested. Ha ha ha, Dean Kerr, let's talk about my thoughts. I believe you will be interested. Chapter 9. Plan. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Location. Villa bedroom of Dean Kerr in the north of the city. Since Your Excellency wants to kill Sha Kun and Morning Biao, you should have your own plan, right? Dean Kerr sat on the chair, tapping his fingers on the desk to inquire about dust and smoke. Actually, I just thought of collaborating with you, and I don't have a detailed plan on how to solve the other party right now. If possible, I would like to hear some intelligence and ideas from Dean Kerr that you know. Chen Yan's face was awkward, and he felt a bit embarrassed as he touched his head and explained to Kerr. After all, Chen Yan just found out that there was actually a promotion from the mayor behind the drug trafficking incident. It seems that his previous plan has to be abandoned. Your Excellency, I have a plan, but I don't know if you are confident that you won't be recognized by Sha Kun and the others. Kerr suddenly thought of a piece of information he received this morning. Oh, Dean Kerr, just say it directly. I happen to know a little about the art of disguise. Chen Yan looked at the human skin mask in the system store, which was priced at 50 points for air transportation, and silently asked the system in her heart. System, can this white quality character mask deceive their eyes? Don't worry, host. I used to be a professional competition system. You should know that if there is no fusion Pokémon world in this world, you need to establish a 100-person force to obtain 50 chi points. Listening to the system's confidence, Chen Yan also felt relieved. Since Your Excellency Yen Jun has confidence, I just received a message from Sha Kun today. During this period, it shouldn't be said that it's Sha Kun who wants to recruit strong players from the underground world of Tianshui City. His purpose is to capture the underground forces in the north of the city. After listening to Kerr's words, Chen Yan also instantly understood Kerr's plan. Isn't that why he should be like the infernal affairs? Your Excellency Yen Jun, you can propose to join the security team at that time. With your strength, Sha Kun should not be stingy. Of course, the other party won't trust you easily, but all you need is a position in the security team. We will cooperate internally and externally when we solve Sha Kun and his team. As long as you show your strength, the position of Tianshui City Public Security Captain will be yours. After listening to Kerr's plan, Chen Yan thought it was pretty good. Just under what identity do you want to infiltrate Shakun's place? Dean Kerr, do you have any information about bounty criminals with similar physical strength to me, but they haven't appeared in many years? Watching Kerr place his bounty on the desk, Chen Yan's mind lit up with a flash of inspiration. He can pretend to be a strong man on a bounty and now wants a bright identity. Such identity will greatly reduce Sha Kun's suspicion of his identity. Good idea. Your idea fits perfectly with the plan I proposed. Wait a moment, I'll search for the reward information of the Desert Alliance. After speaking, Dean Kerr came to a wall and saw him knock on it a few times. Surprisingly, a huge safe half a person tall was exposed on the wall. Kerr opened the safe and took a pile of half-person tall documents, placing them on the desk, searching them one by one. Half an hour later, Kerr handed 2 documents to Chen Yan, who took them and began to examine them. The first information is about a burly man with a physique similar to Chen Yan. Thick eyebrows, a mustache, and a 40-year-old appearance, exuding a murderous aura between the eyebrows and eyes. This person's name is Yanman, and he is a strong sand bandit leader from the Sith Desert in the eastern part of the Desert Alliance. 5 years ago, he was defeated by one of the 4 heavenly kings of the Desert Alliance, the Ground Heavenly King, and his life and death are still uncertain. Note: Tianshui City is located in the northernmost part of the Desert Alliance. Chen Yan looked at the second document again, which showed a handsome and sturdy young man. There is also a note under its information. Rock Series Superpowers. This young man's name is Nolan, and he is a collateral blood relative of the Rock Heavenly King family, one of the 4 heavenly kings in the Western Desert Alliance. However, 3 years ago he killed a master-level powerhouse of the Desert Alliance and was wanted, but now he has been out of sight for 3 years. Chen Yan looked at the 2 documents in front of him, carefully considered them, and finally chose the second document. After all, a rock-type superpower conquering Shakiras is not too suspicious. Just him. Dean Kerr hopes our cooperation goes smoothly. Okay, I hope everything goes smoothly. After Kerr finished speaking, he found an elf guidebook from his desk and threw it to Chen Yan. Dust and Smoke took it and carefully examined it. This is a black guidebook similar to that in anime, but it looks more advanced. This is currently the latest Pokémon guidebook on the market, which contains information about over 500 different Pokémon, as well as a teacher identity from an elf academy. There is also my picture book number inside. You can contact me with the picture book then. Okay, then I'll use Norin's identity to join the security team first, and we'll work together to solve the other party first. After we finish solving Shakun and the others. I hope Dean Kerr will make some changes to me, and I really hope you can become my partner. After Chen Yan finished speaking, he picked up Dean Kerr's intelligence about Shakun recruiting underground strongmen and walked out of the bedroom. Jumped directly from the second-floor window. Kerr looked at the figure of Dust and Smoke jumping down the window and looked at the stairs next to his bedroom door, feeling a bit speechless. Then he walked to the window and locked it. Dust and Smoke infiltrated the underground cave, moved the rockery back to its original position, and left the villa. Half an hour later, Chen Yan used his student identity from the elf guidebook to check into a high-end hotel. As for money, a little luck point in the system store can be exchanged for 10,000 alliance coins. Dust and Smoke lay in the open-air bathtub on the rooftop of the 16th floor hotel, wearing swimsuits and looking at Tianshui City in the north and south. I saw that the new urban area in the north of the city is significantly stronger than the old urban area in the south. Dust and Smoke looked up at the starry sky, with only 18 stars in the dim sky. Chen Yan boldly speculated that it may be the 18 stone tablets, dog heads, of Alzius. He constantly reviews recent events and plans his future direction. Sand, sand. Beside the dust and smoke, Shakira's made a comfortable sound while soaking in warm water. Looking at Shakira's with a white cloth draped over his head, Chen Yan's chaotic thoughts also calmed down. I'm sorry, Shakira's. Recently, I can only keep you inside the Pokémon ball. It must not be as comfortable inside as outside, right? Chen Yan touched Shakira's head and apologized to Shakira's with some guilt. Sand, ah. Are you saying it's very comfortable inside, just like inside an elf egg, and you can also see the scene outside? Chen Yan touched his head and didn't expect the effect of the Pokémon ball in this world to be so good. No wonder it could tame the Pokémon for a long time. However, inside the Pokémon ball, the Pokémon cannot become stronger, let alone experience a free life. So Chen Yan still envies Xiaoji and Pikachu. After all, in this world, once Shakira's appears, he will definitely face endless arrests. Alas, I can only wrong you first, Shakira's. Chen Yan looked towards the south of the city and knew that his first step plan to take control of Tianshui city was about to begin. Target. Evil Dog Gang. Chapter 10. Disguise and Substitution. You are listening at novelfull.audio. July 26, 1645. In the Elven calendar, the light of the rising sun shines through the French window on the white soft bed 3 meters long and wide. Dust and Shakira's were sleeping soundly on it. This is the most comfortable sleep they have had in so many years, and it can only be said that 30,000 alliance coins are worth it. Chen Yan also opened his eyes at this moment, and he was only wearing a pair of shorts. Expose his 6 symmetrical abdominal muscles and 2 sturdy pectoralis major muscles. Chen Yan stood up and looked at Shakira's beside him, who had a big bubble on his nose and was sleeping soundly like a child. He smiled helplessly, not disturbing Shakira's beautiful dream. Get up and put on black sportswear, then go to the exercise room of the suite and do some simple physical exercises. An hour later, Chen Yan took a shower in 3 minutes and ordered 10 steaks from the front desk. The front desk was very surprised by the quantity, but after receiving a tip of 500 yuan from Chen Yan, they happily went to prepare. Wake up, Shakira's. After dinner, we're going to complete the task. Sand. Watching Shakira's lying in bed without thinking of him, Chen Yan grabbed his corner and lifted him up. On the dining table, dust and smoke swallowed all the 10 pounds of steak in front of them like a glutton. In front of him, Shakira's also ate the essence of the tall rock with a full meter radius, making a sound of clicking. Ah, I'm finally full. This is the best meal I've ever had in the past 20 years. At this moment, Chen Yan also felt in his heart that this was the first normal meal he had eaten in 20 years since his travels. Let's go, Shakira's, the plan has begun. Dust and smoke collected Shakira's into the Poké ball, wiped away their traces, and left the hotel. The current destination of Chen Yan is the Evil Dog Gang, where Sha Kun recruits experts. Chen Yan walked on the street, turned around and walked into a dark alley, observing no one around. Wear the human skin mask exchanged from the system on your own face. I saw that the original face of Dust and Smoke had become exactly the same as Nolan on the wanted warrant. Dust and Smoke put on a black hood and a pair of sunglasses. When the Dust and Smoke reappeared, a young man with half of his face covered appeared on the street. But the black figure of the youth is always in the shadows. Chen Yan walked on the familiar streets in the south of the city, which used to be the place where he lived a miserable life for 10 years. He walked through several streets and arrived at the target of this trip. The Wolf Martial Arts School. This is the martial arts school established by the Evil Dog Gang in recent years to whitewash themselves. Of course, there are still members of the gang secretly, and this martial arts school is where Sha Kun recruited them. I saw that the martial arts school has 5 floors and covers an area of several thousand square meters. Compared to the abandoned buildings of Chen Yan in the past, it is simply a revolutionary change. Chen Yen walked to the entrance of the martial arts school and was stopped by two burly men who were 2 meters tall and wearing white martial arts uniforms. "Kid, who are you? What is your purpose in entering the Bad Wolf martial arts school?" Chen Yen took out the elf ball and shook it, saying, "I came here after seeing information about underground recruitment. I'm not sure if I can enter now." The two exchanged a glance, and one of the big men spoke up. "Sir, come with me. I'll take you to find our boss." Chen Yen followed the big man into the hall and followed him from the elevator to the 3rd floor. "Follow him to a front door." The big man rang the doorbell and the next moment the door opened. A row of downward stairs emerged, and the dust and smoke fixed their eyes on a huge underground arena. I saw hundreds of underground powerful players dressed differently gathered below the arena. Chen Yen walked down the stairs and arrived at the center of the arena, just as he was observing the surrounding environment and the powerful underground forces. A large screen suddenly lit up in front of the arena. A familiar figure appeared on the screen, and the person was none other than Sha Kun, the captain of the Tianshui City Public Security Bureau. I believe everyone knows me, Sha Kun. I won't introduce myself anymore. My request is very simple. You have 124 people now, but I only need 10 people. You understand what I mean, so let's get started, everyone. Shikun had just finished speaking, and the quick reacting people in the crowd had already released elves to attack the people next to them. For a moment, the limbs flew wildly, and blood overflowed everywhere. The dust and smoke did not release Shakira's, but instead moved through the crowd with their strong physical fitness. Chen Yen leaned slightly to avoid the rainbow beam of light that a sea demon lion was shooting at him in front of him. The aurora beam shone on the walls of the arena, instantly causing several cracks and ice to form on the walls. But the dust and smoke, like a black ghost, instantly came to the side of the sea demon lion. I saw a pointed cone made of rocks on his hand, which instantly penetrated the head of the sea demon lion. Bang! The sea demon lion's body fell limply to the ground, making a loud bang, and its head shed blood, instantly losing its life. Dust and smoke did not drag any mud or water, using the same method to reunite with the trainer of the sea demon lion. Dust and smoke, like a black god of death, roamed and moved on the battlefield, leaving no living mark wherever he came. Shikun, who was watching the battle in the arena below in the monitoring room, also noticed the dust and smoke. He also discovered the Rock series superpowers intentionally used by Dust Smoke. Oh no, it seems that we have really recruited a master this time. It seems that Tianshui City is destined to fall into my hands, Shikun's obese body sat on the sofa, with a cigar sandwiched between his fingers, emitting eerie laughter. There seemed to be a tall figure standing in the shadow behind him. Arena dust and smoke stood in the center of the arena, covered in blood, and there was no living life in the arena except for him. The cold corpses of humans and elves remain on the ground. There was not much emotional fluctuation in Chen Yan's heart. In this world where human life is like grass, dust and smoke have long been accustomed to killing. Moreover, they are just vicious underground villains. Dust and smoke shook off the blood stained on their hands, and a rocky throne appeared beneath them. He sat directly on it waiting for the person behind the scenes to appear. A few minutes later, the door on the stairs was opened, and several tall bodyguards in black suits led the way. A chubby black-haired man wearing a wide blue uniform appeared slowly from the door. You should be a rock-type superpower, your strength is very strong. Based on my observation, you are at least the pinnacle of elite superpowers. I don't know who you are. I don't know if the people around you, Captain Shikun, are trustworthy. My identity is a bit sensitive. Chen Yan did not answer Sha Kun, but instead asked him in reverse. He wanted to see how much Sha Kun valued him. You guys go out, just let me go with you. Yes. A few bodyguards quickly left the arena, leaving only the former gang leader of Chen Yan, Hui Biao, by Sha Kun's side. 10 years have passed, and Morning Biao is already in his 40s. His short yellow hair has started to turn white. But the still strong muscles on the body prove that the other person is still in their prime. So, just like introducing myself, my name is Nolan, the rock-type superpower at the pinnacle of the elite. Chen Yen took off his glasses and hood, revealing a handsome young face. He, I didn't expect it to be Lord Norin, who is said to have killed the master trainer. It seems that God is helping me. I don't know what you want, Norin. What exactly are you responding to my recruitment for? Even Shikun and Shoubiao are not good things. But looking at the piles of broken corpses piled up everywhere in the arena also made me feel a chill in my heart. For what? I don't know if Captain Shikun can give me a position as a team leader first. If I can help you become the mayor of Tianshui City, could you please give me your current position? Chen Yen sat on the rock throne, tapping his fingers on the armrest and speaking to Sha Kun about his purpose. No way, Boss Shikun, you promised me to be the team leader when you become the city mayor. Sha Kun had not spoken yet, and the nearby Morning Biao couldn't hold his breath. You should know that he did dirty work for Shikun for over 20 years just to gain power and whitewash himself. But Huan Biao didn't see it. His somewhat questioning tone made a cold light appear in Sha Kun's eyes in front of him. It just disappeared in an instant, but was still keenly observed by the dust and smoke. It seems that Sha Kun is very dissatisfied with the interruption of Morning Biao. Your Excellency Norin, you have also heard about the position of the captain. I have agreed to Morning Biao. I don't know if you can take a step back. How about the position of the captain of the North City security team and my extensive resources for compensation? Shikun's chubby face narrowed into a slit in his eyes. But Chen Yen saw a unique gesture from Sha Kun's left hand standing in front. Dust and smoke have been living in the underground world for so many years, even though they are at the bottom and can only make a living by picking up garbage and stealing things. However, he has also been a gangster for 2 months, so he still knows the slang behind this gesture. What Shikun means is to talk more about it later. Chen Yen immediately knew what Sha Kun meant based on his performance just now. It seems that his old gang leader has been a dog with all his heart and effort for so many years. The ending may be slaughtered by the owner and eating dog meat. Chen Yen understood Sha Kun's meaning and nodded. Okay, I promise Sha Kun your terms. I'm not sure if I can have a private chat later. Shikun knew that the other party understood his meaning. Okay, wait a moment. The two of us in the private room on the 5th floor, chatting in detail.